The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning to you, one and all of you ecclesiastites and you liberty lovers. Good morning. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live once again from the Bunker Eye Studio, located somewhere within the very snowy Granite State of New Hampshire. Here it is, Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. December number 12 in the year of our Lord 2017, which means you have about 13 days until Christmas. Approximately 12 effective shopping days until Christmas. No, going to the drugstore at the last minute does not count as shopping for Christmas. Just saying. However, if you are a person who likes to do things with their hands, you can still manufacture. They call them they call stuff that you do at home arts and crafts or hobbies. Build yourself furniture. Furnish your house yourself with furniture, like they used to do back in days of old, and that's called a hobby. It used to be called life. Yeah, people used to make their own everything. Well, even the beds. Mattresses were made of straw or hay or grass, and they take some old cloth or something and stuff it, sew it together and stuff it, and that was, or they just slept on a slab of wood. But yeah, they made everything from their kitchen table to their kitchen cabinets and shelving, their dining room tables and their, well, they didn't really have sofas, but they had chairs all over the place in front of the fires. They used to make all that stuff themselves. Today, we all run to the furniture store, or we run to IKEA. Just ran into somebody who does the home away and Airbnb. He's a mini motel mogul. Just read about him yesterday. This guy's making some bank. He's got himself a little business. Well, it's not all that little. The guy's making six figures. Incredible. Every time, and you know what? Here's a little trick. He discovered that he didn't have to buy his own properties. Yeah. Are you guys ready for this one? This is what this guy does. He currently has, according to the story, well, I'm not going to ruin the whole thing. He has almost 50 units around places that, he likes to travel, but he has almost 50 units. He only owns 5 of them. This is what he does. He goes around, he looks for nice apartments in nice areas. Apartments now. In nice areas, in communities that people might want to stay for, for holiday or tourist or something. And he leases them. And of course, he makes sure the leasing contract doesn't say that he can't use HomeAway or Airbnb or anything like that. I mean, most leasing most rental agreements say you can't sublease an apartment for long term without permission of the apartment owner or management, and he's not doing that. It's not a sublease. He's not leasing at all. It's not subleasing. Yeah. So he's getting away with it for now, anyway. And he furnishes these. He goes to IKEA, has it all delivered, and then he pays what is it, like $85, $90 for delivery, and then he pays somebody a few $100 to assemble everything and put it all together. And then he comes in himself and takes the pictures and posts it. And then, of course, he hires somebody to clean it and to manage the check-in and check-out stuff. But so again, there's an idea. This guy, I was just reading about it. He's like, yeah. I'm thinking to myself, So he says it cost him outside of the renting, which is obviously first month's rent and security deposit. He said it cost him about $6,000 to $8,000 to open an apartment, and that he sees a return in the positive territory, usually within 3 to 4 months. So how would you like to be in a business where you get all your money, all your investment back in about 4 months, in a quarter of the year, a third of the year? How would you like to have a business like that? And then, so basically, roughly, he's saying if he can't make, what is it, $150 to $200 per night, and he has an 80 to 90% occupancy rate, which means the man is pulling in like over $4,000 a month per unit. And now think about this: if his cost per unit is $2,000 a month, which is kind of, I suppose in some areas is pretty normal, but in some areas $2,000 a month is either that's a really nice apartment or that's overpriced. But if he's making $4,000 a month and his cost to including utilities and rent and everything is about $2,000, he's clearing $2,000 a month per unit, which is roughly $24,000 a month a year per unit. You do the math. He's got 50 of them. So there you go. And this is why New York City, places like New York City and San Francisco, there are two reasons. In San Francisco, you can't do HomeAway or Airbnb unless you live in the home. So in other words, this guy can't operate legally in San Francisco. Isn't that amazing? You can't do what you want to do with your own property. Government comes, no, you can't do that because of government problems, a government-created problem. Now, the reason why San Francisco says it is because rents are skyrocketing, there's a housing shortage. Too many people want to live in New York City, and there aren't enough houses, and people just can't buy up or take over apartments and then rent them out willy-nilly like this on Airbnb. The problem is that the city of San Francisco has created the housing shortage. There has been no new housing construction. I mean, there's very little new construction going on at all in San Francisco. Last time I checked, there is no new housing construction. In other words, nobody's tearing down a neighborhood or a block and building an apartment complex or tower. They can't do it. Now, if there's a fire and then there's a vacant lot or something, then yeah, you can replace it. But they don't allow any building. basically. So whose fault is that? Well, because, hey, we have to maintain this beautiful, picturesque European, Mediterranean-looking city on the San Francisco Bay. City on the Bay. And look, I've been to San Francisco a couple of times. It's gorgeous out there. You sit across the bay in Sausalito or Oakland. You look back across the bay at San Francisco. It does. It looks like a Mediterranean city. There's a lot of white buildings. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. Well, they want to maintain that. Well, okay, I get that, but at the same time, you can't deny people from doing what they want to do with their own property, especially in a place like San Francisco, and especially seeing how you're the ones creating the problem, government. That's the way it works. I always thought, always said government is a pain in the ass. But when they try to regulate stuff like this is no different from over-regulating any industry. You have, take healthcare, over-regulated. It's called mandatory healthcare, and it's called Obamacare. Prices are going through the roof. I'm seeing stories on a daily basis about what people are being charged for a family of 4 or a family of 5. If you got 2 or 3 kids, man, even if you're just a couple. I mean, look, I mentioned how much they wanted to charge me for. I'm a guy that's in good health. Yeah, even though I drink coffee and smoke cigars, I'm in good health. The price of health insurance is getting astronomical. I mean, it used to be an outlier. When all this got started, it used to be an outlier that people were paying, $15,000, $20,000 a year for premiums. Now it's the norm. And now you're not making the news now if you're paying $12,000 to $15,000 a year in premiums. Oh no, that's old hat. Just about everybody's doing that. You're paying $1,000 or more per month for 3 or 4 people. That's normal. That's low. Now we're getting stories, and these are becoming everyday stories. We're getting stories where people are having to pay $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in premiums and deductibles. I mean, that's just insanity. But it's government regulated, and it's mandated. So look what happens when government overregulates something. Government wants to overregulate the internet. Now think about this: the internet grew to where it is. It just boomed when there was very little government oversight and regulation on it. Right? Everybody got to benefit. Yeah, even poor people. Maybe a lot of people didn't have access in their homes, but everybody had the ability to access the internet by going to the library or internet cafes or other places. They could access the internet for free. Nobody's denied the internet. Well, what if they live out in the rural areas, right? And they don't have a library nearby. Well, either they hitchhike, drive, take the bike, take the tractor. I don't care. They can get to the library. But if they live out in way out in the middle of nowhere, then their only chance is satellite stuff. I get that. But everybody still has the ability to access the internet. And it was done without government overregulation. And then they came in and they said, well, we're just going to start overregulating the cable industry, which is already overregulated, and we're going to regulate the pricing. And the pricing is through the. Do you know how much we're compared to the rest of the world? I don't know how many times I've mentioned this on this program about internet access, ISP providers. You've got companies in London, England that offer, faster speed than we get, folks. I know everybody talks about how fast this stuff is, and I see these Xfinity commercials and how fast this is and how fast that is. I'm like, give me a freaking break. You're charging $75 a month or more for internet access. It better be faster than you claim it is. Because in places like London and Paris, they've got internet speeds that are faster than ours. for unlimited data. Because basically the internet's unlimited. You get unlimited data. And you get, for the equivalent of $9 to $10 a month for some of the basics. I mean, London alone, last time I checked, which is about a year ago, London had 9 different companies, literally 9 different, that reached the entire city. 9 companies that offered ISP. What do you get in your neighborhood? Well, you have your local cable company, which is a government-sponsored fiat monopoly. And then if you're lucky, maybe you'll have like AT&T DSL, or maybe you'll get Fios from Verizon. Still don't have Fios here in Concord. Or you'll get the phone company DSL, your local landline phone company DSL. There is no competition. And since the government dropped the requirement that anybody and everybody could have a satellite dish, which have gotten really small nowadays, they're not these big behemoth things anymore. You can barely see some of them. Now you don't even have the option. If you live in a condo, an apartment complex, they can now tell you, no, you can't have one of those things. When they didn't used to be able to tell you that. Now they can tell you that. So you don't have a choice. Your choice is extremely limited. And you're wondering why you're paying $60, $70, $80, $100 a month for ISP service, internet, service. And they try to make you feel really good too. Hey, bundle it. Do people realize how stupid this bundling is? If you get something that is useless and pay a slightly higher price, well, your average price per item is going to be lower. So we'll give you internet service at $50 per month if you toss on a useless cable landline telephone and overly priced cable TV. For $99 a month, we'll give it to you all. But if you only want internet, well, that $50 goes to $75 or $80. And that's insanity. But that's due to government regulation because there is no competition. So when you have government that suppresses competition, then prices go through the roof. There has never been a time in modern history when government has gone in and overregulated an industry. Has prices not gone up? They've always gone up, and a lot more than they should, and prices are artificially high. No, look, health insurance companies, when it came to Obamacare, the reason why they wanted it, because does anybody hearing about health insurance companies that are failing today? Oh, hey, I don't hear that anymore. Do you? No. Well, that's because, and nobody's reporting on the outstanding windfall profits that some health insurance companies are making. Well, wouldn't you make a profit too if you're charging, premium holders $29,000 a year in premiums and then another $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a year deductible? There is no risk for you, but you make an awful lot of cash. You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Yes, indeed. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas out there. Today we have this wonderful snowstorm. The second of the season. I don't think is this one named? Now the one that hit over the weekend was called Benji. Winter Storm Benji. I don't think if this one isn't named, the reason why this one isn't named because it didn't drop snow down south. I mean, Benji dropped snow in Texas and I think Georgia and the Carolinas a little bit, and places where they don't normally get snow. But, so it is starting to look a lot like a Christmas out there. And speaking of Christmas, how about we keep Christmas? We keep Christ in Christmas. Here's this morning's first Christmas song with that title, Keep Christ in Christmas by Bianca.
You must be teasing. There's a birthday
That's something that we all need to remember at this time of year. We need to keep Christ in Christmas. And for all of you who do not believe in Christ, remember that this is called Christmas for a reason. It is a religious holiday, whether you like it or not. Merry Christmas.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program. a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Welcome back. So we got this thing going on in Alabama today. It started, we're going to talk a little bit more about that as the morning goes on. But speaking of this thing going on in Alabama, how about this whole CNN thing? I mean, just folks, come on. What was the news yesterday? Oh, it was about Donald Trump drinking a dozen cans of Diet Coke every day and watching 8 hours of TV. Meanwhile, the rest of this is CNN. Meanwhile, and we wonder why the president keeps harping and hammering CNN for being fake news. So New York CNN pivots to coverage on Trump's Diet Coke consumption and his TV watching habits minutes after New York City bombing attack. Now, here's the deal. You have a lot of people out there saying this is an attempted bombing. No, it's not an attempted bombing. An attempted bombing is when you catch the guy before the bomb goes off. The bomb went off. Now, obviously, it didn't go off the way he wanted it to, or possibly when he wanted it to, but the bomb still went off. It was a successful bombing. Just because nobody died doesn't mean this wasn't a success. It was a. Can you imagine if there was more than one of them, or if this bomb had gone off like it was supposed to? Obviously it was built poorly. I mean, didn't even kill the guy who was carrying it. That's just a bad bomb. Now maybe this was done on purpose. Maybe it was meant to show that in DeBlusterous' New York City, with all these now we've heard about all these sleepers before, with all these sleepers and sleeper cells in the country now. Even if Trump now can just cut it all off, they're already here. And we're being notified and reminded that they're here and they can be activated at any time. Oh, he's a lone wolf. But is CNN covering it? No, because they don't want to, well, hey, we don't want to frighten the public. How about you just tell us the damn truth and stop going tabloid on us? And this is tabloid. Donald Trump drinks a dozen Cokes a day. Well, who cares? How does that affect the way he's governing? It doesn't. Not to mention, it's Diet Coke. Now, I know there have been studies that say that diet soft drinks cause people to gain weight instead of, lose weight. But remember, there are no calories in Diet Coke. Right? Is that I'm right on that, right? There's no calories in Diet Coke. I don't drink diet drinks because I don't like the taste. But there are people that do like the taste. I can't. It's nasty. Just like I don't drink decaffeinated coffee because I don't like the flavor. I don't drink Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Polar Bear soft drinks. I don't do. Polar. I don't drink Diet RC. I used to love Royal Crown. Anybody remember? Do they still have that? Is RC still for sale? It's hard to find. But I don't drink anybody's diet soft drink. If I have an option, I will not drink diet beverages. But some people like diet beverages. So maybe the president, for whatever reason, likes diet beverages. And he likes Diet Coke best. Who cares if he drinks 12 of them? Yeah, He's up. Well, maybe with the caffeine, maybe this is how this guy gets by with only sleeping, 4 to 6 hours a night. He's up at up to 18, 20 hours a day. So maybe that's the caffeine helps keep him going. So you're up 18 to 20 hours. What's a Coke? 12 Cokes even if he's up for 12, that's only one an hour. Aren't we supposed to be drinking, like water every hour? And you're supposed to have 8 to 10 glasses of water every day. Well, that's plus, whatever you're having during, when you eat, so you got 3 meals, you have 8 glasses. It's 11 glasses of something. It's half your day drinking. It's 1 an hour for 12 hours, basically. I don't. Just sorry, folks. Just reading something in the chat room. Kevin, stop it. Those are terrible. Those are great, but they're terrible. He's giving definitions for Obamacare. For instance, the meaning of forceps under Obamacare. Forceps actually means both biceps together. In any case, so you distract me like that. 12 Cokes. Well, I don't. Maybe I don't. Is there an Obamacare word or meaning for what Trump is doing? 12 Diet Cokes per day. And this is ridiculous. This is what CNN is, and now CNN is going to whine. They're still whining. He's bullying Don Lemon. The president's bullying Don. He's being a big bully. Anybody know what is it, kids? Keaton. You better remember over the weekend, the little boy Keaton. And his video went viral when he was talking to his mother about being bullied. He says, he was very sad about it. He was hurt about it. They make fun of my nose and they say I have no friends and they're just, why do people be mean? And the kid had a good point. I mean, he was adorable. He's about probably 10 to 12 years old. He was adorable. And so they took this video. Trust me, folks, this is what CNN does. This is what the left does. They took a real story, a real heartwarming, heart-busting story from this kid Keaton on this video that went viral. And they tried to apply it to themselves. They're adults. He's a child. And they're going to complain about being bullied. An entire news organization full of adults who make millions of dollars a year collectively are now after all the wrong stuff, false stuff, fake stuff, bad stuff, evil stuff, mean stuff that they've said about the president. They are going to complain that the president is being a bully. Hello? I've never seen anything like this. This past year has really taken the lid off of what liberals are really like. I mean, this is I never in my wildest dreams ever would have thought I would have seen what I have seen over this past year. Since the election of Donald J. Trump. We thought it was bad. The coverage was bad during the election process, during the campaigning. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I get it. Collectively they seem to be getting worse. By the way, now it seems to be that it is inevitable now that Fox and Disney, that Disney is going to buy Fox. Most of Fox assets which means Disney will control the Fox News network, which means, I don't know, is Sean Hannity going to be forced into retirement? I don't know what Rupert I know what Rupert Murdoch is thinking. It isn't Rupert. Rupert's getting old. Rupert's almost in the ground, to tell you the truth. I mean, he's done. And his sons really don't want to run the empire. They don't. They really don't. One of them is saying, the news is for one of them may be offered a high level executive position at Disney if they buy Fox. That's all they don't want to run the empire. And so they're going to sell it off to a liberal company. They're going to take a moderate, the only moderate network on TV, and turn it over to a liberal. How much you want to bet that Fox News is going to end up like MSNBC and CBS, or MSMS and CNN, Clinton News Network? How much you want that's Fox News is going to end up like that? We're gonna have a bunch of people that said that they were once conservative or GOP, like Joe Scarborough, and Chris Matthews was once a Republican. I know it's hard to believe. But there's not going to be an alternative. Well, you got an alternative right here, and this is why there's a lot of conservatives are foregoing trying to get on national TV. I mean, look at Mark Levin TV. I don't subscribe to Levin TV, but they're evidently it's one of the fastest growing pay for play. Is that what they call it? Pay for play out there. And maybe we'll do that here. Zinc Media Arts will put Zinc Media TV up. Yeah, believe it or not, folks, we are in preliminary design discussions. I'm talking with a bunch of people on how to do this, how best to do this. It is at least a year away before we do anything like that. At least. I mean, we're just preliminary right now. And I know I said, well, I don't want to do video. Well, that's the way things are going. I still don't want to have video here in the Bunker studio during the program. But if this program is going to, in making this program grow even further, that would actually, if Fox were to merge with Disney, that would probably benefit programs like this. It would. This is just it's insane that we're losing. Fox News is just so biased. This is what we hear, right? Fox News is they're biased, and they admit it. Well, no, they say they're fair and balanced. Well, fair and balanced is now biased. I thought news was supposed to be fair and balanced. I thought it was supposed to be middle of the road. Just tell you the facts and let you decide. I thought that's what news was about. No. Fox News is fair and balanced. I mean, I know that they lean right, but they're more fair and balanced than any of the other networks. But that's that's now a bad thing. And if you're not on board with trying to destroy Trump, and bringing a false story on a daily basis about Trump, then you're not really news today. It's just insanity. So we have CNN that wants to run around acting like a tabloid. This type of story about President Trump drinking 12 cans of soda, diet soda on a daily basis. This is something I expect to see on Entertainment Tonight. What are some of the tabloid? Well, all I know is Entertainment Tonight on TV. I know there's others. What was the one that Bill O'Reilly got started on? Long time ago, Bill O'Reilly was. I forget. I don't watch that stuff. But that's what this story is. But now CNN is taking over. This kind of tabloid journalism. Isn't that an oxymoron? Tabloid journalism. That's it. Well, even the National Enquirer has broken open real stories in the past. So I suppose it could be journalism. So they're out there. CNN is out there covering Trump's beverage consumption on a daily basis, while the rest of the country is trying to focus on and find out and figure out what the hell's going on in New York City with the bombing, with the successful bombing. The Bangladeshi, there is, where is it story? There is a story here, but this is the 10th, fourth Bangladeshi involved in an American terror attack in the past 10 years. This guy is a chain migrant. He got here because of chain migration. And did you know that there was a story? Where is that other story here that I had in the paper pile? We'll get into this whole this Bangladesh guy a little bit into the program as the program unfolds. But there was a story here in the paper pile I had set aside. I meant to. Did you know that there are speaking of sexual harassment, did you know that there are women out there who maybe it's not just women, it could be guys too. I'm surprised we don't have a Tinder. I'm surprised we don't have a Tinder for terrorists. Because there are people out there who are actually sad over this guy doing what he did. Because why? Why would they be sad? Not because he tried to kill people by blowing them up. No. Because there are people out there, women out there, who think that this is a waste for this guy to do that because now he's going to go to jail because he was so good looking. What?
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Yes, indeed. So CNN is still on the Coca-Cola consumption bandwagon, even though all this other stuff is out there for them to talk about. CNN counters Trump attack on Don Lemon. In a world where bullies torment kids, Donald Trump tries to bully CNN's Don Lemon. They should get. Well, he did the voice of Darth Vader. They should get him to do that. This is CNN. This is the story of the bullying of Don Lemon. In response to Donald Trump's tweeting that CNN anchor Don Lemon is the dumbest man on television. How is it being a bully, by the way? It's an accurate. The man is not all that bright. Look, this is a guy who over the past few years, every single year that he's been that I've noticed that he's been on the New Year's Eve thing, the guy's been drunk on TV. That's not a smart thing to do, and CNN still keeps him. He gets drunk off his ass on TV. But you know why? You know why Don Lemon gets away with it? Folks don't realize, many folks don't realize that Don Lemon is like 51, 52 years old. I know he doesn't look anything like, he's like Pharrell. I mean, the man is like 50 years old, and he looks like he's 30. I don't know what his makeup regimen or his cosmetic, regimen is every morning and evening, but whatever he's doing is working. I'll admit it. The guy looks damn good for his age. But that's why he's the face of CNN now, and he's not a white guy. If I'm not mistaken, Don Lemon is a mixed race individual, which is fine, obviously. Many blacks are, but that doesn't make him smart, though. Now, the cable news network of CNN released a statement slamming the president for engaging in the very same behavior as bullies who torment kids. Don Lemon's not a kid. He's a 50-plus-year-old man. Well, he acts like a child. Maybe that's why the president said he's the dumbest person on TV. Because he acts like a child. He acts dumb. It just... unbelievable, folks. I mean, these people, just unbelievable how sensitive they are. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. What have they called what has CNN called the president? I mean, a lot worse than just dumb. Have they not? Yes, they have. And now they're going to complain and cry in order to take away from that adorable little boy Keaton about a real problem that he's having and make light of it. This is shameful. Just shameful.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of french fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's going to explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old. Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off. And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back here, hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Yes, indeed. And welcome back to you, liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Here it is, Tuesday, December number 12 in the year of our Lord 2017. As we continue on with the program, the fastest 3 hours of internet talk radio is right here, powered by Zinc Media Arts. Maybe I let the cat out of the bag too soon with the potential for some sort of network. Now, I was actually surprised. Now, what kind of network would it be if we had, Zinc Media TV? Again, just in the very preliminary stages. I don't know yet. I have no clue. Would it be just video? Would it be an actual network with running a number of different live and recorded shows? I don't know. Would it just be me? I would rather it not be just me. I mean, that's not a true network in my book. Hello. But what was that? But in any case, I wouldn't. No. But again, we're just in real preliminary discussions. Again, it's at least a year out for this thing. We're talking, 2019 at the earliest. It coming online, but it's not that. Evidently, it's not that difficult to do nowadays, and it's not that difficult. And look at Levin TV. You don't need to be on YouTube or any of the other dozen or so video service networks. And there are people. I guess there are people that are building networks on places like Periscope. And we're just getting into this. I'm just learning about how to do all of this video stuff and video network. So, well, the radio show still probably will be video free. I hate this. Well, because I like getting up early in the morning, and sometimes my hair isn't combed. Sometimes I wear a sweatshirt. I can do that because you can't see me. I can't do that if you can see me. Well, yeah, sweatshirt hoodie. Like now, I'm wearing an old. I'll admit it. Right now, I'm wearing an old raggedy hoodie. I can't wear something this ugly on video and live TV. That wouldn't be proper. In any case, we're 2019 for video for the network is the earliest that we'll be able to, because of course if you do something like that now you also got to buy additional equipment, and you know this stuff is a lot cheaper than it used to be. But it's, you know, there's still a cost to it. I mean, how many cameras are you going to have? You're going to have, and who's going to run the camera? It's something that really is difficult to do by yourself. You can't do an entire network by yourself. I can run this show by myself, but this radio show. But if there's video involved, or if we're doing a network, now you got to think about hiring people. So there's logistics behind that, and then you have to find talent to fill out your broadcast day. So there's also that. There's a lot of cogs or spokes in this wheel that have to be attached, so to speak, before any of this can come to fruition. But again. And believe it or not, when you start putting this stuff together, when you start getting serious and putting this stuff together, there are people that expect to get paid for their expertise. Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, right now there's no cost in talking about it and getting ideas out. When you start really trying to put it together, that's when the costs start to come in. So I'm a businessman. I understand that. So, but this is, and again, we'll be more concentrating on this, on the radio program. And I still don't want to do video, but speaking of which, evidently there's a daredevil that plummeted to his death during a risky stunt near the top of a 62-story building in China, according to news reports. Wu Yongning, Yongning, 26, who called himself China's first rooftopper, plunged from the Huan International Center in Changsha, the capital of Hunan province in central China, on November 8th. A month later, Yongning's girlfriend and family members confirmed his death. It took him a month to confirm his death? There is a viral video out there that racked up more than 15 million views on Chinese social media, shows Yongning, who had already reached the roof of the skyscraper, lowering himself over the edge of the building to do a pull-up stunt. But when he tried to hoist himself back up, he struggled for a few moments before losing his grip and plummeting down the side of the building. The camera phone that had been set up to record the stunt quickly lost sight of him. So I get there was I was wondering if there was, you know, somebody there was there filming him. Why didn't they go and help him? But I guess he did it all himself. But it took him a month. Hey, is Yongning around? No, he's not here today. And this goes on for a month before they say, yeah, Yongning died. Yongning dead. He died doing stunt on 62 floor tower. He fall. Yeah, it's my very bad Chinese accent. Some people might call that racist. I don't call that racist. I think it's just fun. What goes through the mind of some people? I mean, here, yeah, I'm gonna go. This is in my head. I am going to go to a tower, a skyscraper. Yeah. This one is 62 floors high, 62 stories. That's a good one. I'm gonna go to the top of this and do a pull. Now, first of all, folks, let me tell you, pull-ups are not easy. They're one of the most difficult exercise movements there is. Now, this makes it even harder because you have no airspace. You need airspace between you and you know, in order to do the pull-up. Because if he's against the wall, and that's what he's doing, he's flat up against the wall. There, believe it or not, the friction and you having lack of free movement hinders and causes your body to weigh more than it actually does. So, if you're a 180-pound man and you're used to doing 10 pull-ups on a pull-up bar, well, you've got all that free space. Why do you think they stick out so far at the gym and other places? So you have movement, because you got to move. You got to be free. You can't have any friction. If you are reduced to the point where you don't have, it puts your body, your arms and shoulders out of, see your arms, you got to have the space so you're directly under what you're pulling up, because that is the lightest point. Once you move your body and your shoulders out of alignment with your hands on that bar, your weight effectively increases. So now you're 180 pounds trying to pull yourself up, but you don't weigh 180 pounds because of where your shoulders are not in alignment. So it's the equivalent of pulling up an extra 50 pounds because your shoulders are out of alignment. That's the whole hands, shoulders, arms. They've all got to be in alignment to get the 180 if that's what you weigh. You're on a building. You're now out of alignment. Your shoulders and everything are out of alignment. So now you're actually effectively heavier. So what goes through people's mind to do this kind of stuff? This is just, don't ask, I'm not an exercise physiologist, but go ask somebody who does this. They can tell you the same thing. The reason why we're able to do certain things and lift so much weight on certain movements is because of the alignment. If you get out of alignment, it makes things a hell of a lot more difficult. And obviously hanging on the side of a building, and not to mention, you're 62 floors up, just insane. This guy, Daredevil, that's just foolishness. Now this guy back to CNN for a second here. CNN is also now, evidently they're walking back a story on Jeff Sessions. CNN walks back to Jeff Sessions' Russia bombshell. Now understand, this is Sarah Huckabee Sanders was taking CNN to task. The White House press, she was the video of this has gone viral. The video of it's go. This is a woman that takes no credit. I like her. She doesn't take any crap. And I love it. She points the finger. No, I'm not finished. And then she pulled a Donald Trump on him. Yeah, I'm not gonna take any more questions from you. She was saying that, look, you guys are going out there and you're spouting out without checking your facts, without backing up your sources. You're out there spewing these stories, getting it all wrong. This is not just once, is what she's saying. It's not once in a... It seems to be on a weekly basis. There's a news story that comes out that you eventually have to walk back because you didn't check your facts. And you don't care to check your facts because you just like... What Sarah Huckabee Sanders was saying was that they like the idea of the story being true, even if the story's not true. They want the story to be true, so they're going to promote it and they're going to report it as true. And then everybody's going to see the story. And then when they come back and do a little bit of walk back, and say, "Oh, we're sorry, we got it wrong." Nobody's really going to see that. So everybody's still going to believe that the original story, which was a lie to begin with, is true. This is how this stuff works. CNN and the mainstream media know this is how it works. Just ask the New York Times, man. They blast a story on the front page. Everybody sees it above the fold. And then a couple of days later, they print a retraction on page 12. Nobody sees that. So everybody believes, even though, we retracted the story. we admitted we had it wrong. We retracted it. Nobody sees the retraction. It's buried on page at the bottom of page 12. But everybody saw the headlines and above the fold. That's how they intend to do it, folks. This is what CNN has been doing all year long. And now they're caught. They've been caught red-handed doing it. And now they're going to, Donald Trump's being a bully. I would assume that purposefully telling fake stories, fake news, CNN, I would say, I'm not going out on a limb here, but if you purposely put forth fake news against a person or organization, isn't that being a bully? You're purposefully lying about somebody or some organization. Isn't that being a bully by the new bullying definitions today? I think it is. So when somebody calls you out on your tactics, you're going to accuse them of being a bully? When somebody calls you out for, look, calling Don Lemon the dumbest man that on TV is not being a bully. It's calling out a fact. Although, I'm going to have to take the president to task. I'm not sure that Don Lemon is the dumbest guy on TV. I mean, there are other candidates in there that might be dumber. Chris Matthews comes to mind. I don't know. Am I being a bully when I say all that kind of stuff? Or is now when you tell the truth and mention facts, is that being a bully?
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
And now it is time for the wonderful Christmas song that we have for you for this hour, which is a version that you all know from the 60s. Wonderful Christmas Time by the Shines, S-I-N-S, Shins or Shines, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, doing a cover of the Beatles' Christmas song. Here it is, Wonderful Christmas Time by the Shines.
The mood is right, the spirit's up, we're here tonight, and that's enough. The party's on, the feeling's here, it only comes this time of year. We're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The word is out about the town to lift a glass. Oh, don't look down. The party's on. The spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. We're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The children's choir sings a song. The children's choir sings a song. The party's on. The feeling's here. It only comes this time of year. We're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
That was Wonderful Christmas, the cover done by the Shines of the Beatles class. I like the way they recorded that, which is one of the main reasons why I chose it to play. It sounds like it was recorded in the 60s. Doesn't it have that 50s, 60s sound to it? I actually liked it a lot that way. Now, I wonder if they have a regular, more modern studio sounding version. But that version was kind of cool how they have it recorded. It sounds like it's like you're playing a 45 back in the 50s and 60s. So they're making it sound like it was actually done back then with the Beatles, but it wasn't. It's a modern incarnation. I'm assuming this is what I'm told as they sent it over to me. So the Shines, S-H-I-N-S. You may want to look them up. If you like their, I don't know if all their music is, I don't think all their music is recorded that way, but if they want to have a 50s or 60s sound, they might. If you like that sound, go for it. So CNN walks back the Jeff Sessions Russia bombshell, and they're doing this stuff on a daily basis, by the way. CNN has quietly walked back more of their so-called bombshell reporting on the Trump-Russia collusion narrative. Somebody needs to tell CNN there is no Trump-Russia collusion. It's been proven that there's nothing there. This has been over a year. No evidence of there's been more evidence found of a Clinton-Russian collusion than there has been of Trump-Russian collusion, but they're still on the it's getting to the point where I'm just getting sick and tired of talking about it. No, seriously, I am. It's like you become a broken record when you're talking about this on a daily basis, repeating the same thing over and over, because that's the truth. But this is what you have to do in order to combat the lies that they keep telling on a daily basis. I mean, hey, now CNN has to quietly walk back its accusation. What? Wait, walk back what? The real story's right in front of you, and it's called Hillary Clinton and her camp. That's where the real collusion is.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
The reason why CNN has to back off their story or recant their story or walk back is, I love how they do this now, walk back. In other words, recant their story. The whole basis is what on the story is that evidently it was found out that Sessions didn't disclose some of the meetings that he had with the Russian ambassador when he was a senator. And when Sessions was confronted about this, he said, well, you know, I was in that southern Alabama tone, I was told I didn't have to disclose all this kind of information when I was a senator. And you had some CNN was framed the discussion or the disclosure of this as more evidence of collusion between Russia and the Trump team, saying he has come under withering criticism from Democrats following revelations that he did not disclose the same contacts with Kislyak during his Senate confirmation hearings earlier this year. Now, at the, you know, if you go back and you watch the tapes and everything of this, and they're all CNN was showing him, Sessions gave an explanation and saying the FBI, he was told by the FBI that not to list those meetings, that he didn't have to list all of those meetings. Now, a CNN legal expert who regularly assists officials in filling out forms disagrees with the Justice Department's explanation, suggesting that Sessions should have disclosed the meetings, CNN asserted. And then comes the bombshell that forces CNN to recant, because if they just did a little bit of searching, this wouldn't have been a story. A newly released document of an email shows that the FBI did tell Attorney General, before he was Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, that he wasn't required to disclose all his foreign contacts that occurred in the course of carrying out his governmental duties as senator. Well, wait, so CNN has got a so-called legal expert that says, no, he's got to disclose everything. The FBI would never tell him that he doesn't have to disclose it. And then he's got an email that's coming directly from the FBI. No, you don't got to. There are certain things you don't have to disclose. You don't have to disclose all that stuff. You don't got to do it. So now CNN has to walk back their story, and if they were real investigatory journalists, it would have been very easy for them to get their hands on the email before the story went on the air. But guess what? The story went out there, so it makes it look to a lot of people, and you're going to see it on Twitter, you're going to see it on Facebook and social media, and you're going to hear people talking about it, especially the libs. All the liberals are going to do, well, Jeff Sessions didn't tell everybody. He was supposed to tell everybody about everything that he ever did as senator. And you're going to point out the fact to them, well, no, the FBI, he got advice from the FBI that he didn't have to disclose everything. Now, in hindsight, would it have been better if he just said everything, disclosed everything? Probably. But he didn't have to. He had no he got the information. But you know what? This is so convoluted, folks. It is so convoluted. It's just like if you were to go to the IRS and have the IRS themselves do your taxes, and they did an audit and found that your taxes were done wrong, You're responsible, not the IRS. I mean, this is how bad this has gotten. So Sessions gets advice from people who are supposed to know how all this stuff works. And maybe he got bad advice. I don't know. But they told him one thing, so he followed their advice, and now he's going to be chastised for following their advice. Who else are you going to go to for advice? If the very people who are charged with keeping track of all this kind of stuff don't know, then how the hell are you supposed to know? I mean, it is in the regulations that even if an IRS agent does your taxes and the taxes are done wrong, it's still your responsibility and still your fault. So you're going to the people that actually should know all there is to know about the tax code and taxes. And if they get it wrong, it's your fault, not theirs. Because you're supposed to be a bigger expert than the experts. So Jeff Sessions gets some information and some suggestions about what to do and what to list from the FBI, the very people who are supposed to know the law about all this stuff, and they get it wrong. But who's at fault? Not the FBI. According to CNN, Jeff Sessions at fault because he's supposed to be the bigger expert. He's supposed to know more about this stuff than the FBI. This is so convoluted, people. It's absolutely amazing. It's frightening at that. But this is what CNN, to a lesser extent, the other networks like MSMS and ABC, CBS, NBC, but CNN, the Clinton News, I mean, this is the reason why they're called the Clinton News Network. Because they're trying to attribute everything that the Clintons are now being accused of doing, and there's evidence that they actually did do it, to Trump, who didn't do it. Russian collusion? Not Trump. Seems to be Clinton. Uranium One, anybody? I feel like I'm starting to sound like a broken record. Because every day I come on the program and I have to remind people yet again, well, there's this new story, Rod. Well, no, just give it a day or two and CNN is going to have to recant. That's the way it's, you can't even trust them anymore. They give you the so-called bombshell and you're like, okay, hold on, let's wait a few days and see if it still stands. How do you run a new, nobody's watching CNN. How the hell are they still on the air? How are they paying their reporter, well, their so-called reporters, millions of dollars a year collectively? I don't understand it. I don't get, I mean, is the government somehow funding CNN? Because that's the only way that a network like this can stay afloat. I mean, look at PBS. Every time you turn on PBS, they're asking you for money. So, but can you imagine if PBS didn't get any government funding at all? They'd never be able to stand. They wouldn't make it. They'd go off the air. And they know this. Because outside of things like Sesame Street and This Old House, nobody really watches PBS all that much. They actually have to put on programming that people would want to watch. And by the way, you know, as much as I love This Old House, and I do, as much as a kid I love Sesame Street, you know, those two programs alone, do you realize how big business those two programs are on PBS? Now, PBS is supposed to be nonprofit, right? Those are for-profit entities. Sesame Street alone is a multi-billion-dollar industry, business. I mean, they got licensing. Anything with Sesame Street on it, you're going to pay a premium because of the licensing. It's not cheap to license Sesame Street characters or Sesame Street stuff. It's not. You got to pay a lot of money for that. But people buy. Hey, you got a little doll. Let's get Elmo. Okay, Elmo will cost you $19.95. You get something that isn't Elmo, but it's the same thing, and it's not a Sesame Street character. It'll cost you $9.95, half the price. Literally, go walk into a Toys R Us and you'll see what I'm talking about. Sesame Street stuff is expensive. The Children's Television Workshop, which owns Sesame Street, is a multi-billion-dollar business. They could fund PBS all over the country all by themselves if they wanted to. Now you toss in some of the other successful programs, highly successful programs like This Old House is a private for-profit entity. I mean, they've got books, magazines. They've spawned a number of different, not just This Old House, but there's Ask This Old. There's like 3 or 4 different This Old House programs. I'm just going to say it's This Old House Studios. I don't know what they call themselves, but they got 3 or 4 programs out there. Not to mention This Old House is syndicated. The old shows are syndicated on network television all over the country. They make millions of dollars a year. Now, I'm not chastising them for it. I'm very glad that they're able to do that. But understand that these guys, the host of these shows, are not being paid small chump change either. I remember, now it's been a few years now, but I remember when Norm Abram built his new house and his new studio/workshop, the new Yankee Workshop. It was a $600,000 house that he built. In that workshop, every tool man's dream. I always said something. If I ever hit the lottery, the first thing I'm doing, I'm not buying a house. The first thing I'm doing is getting Norm's workshop. That's what I used to say. It was the tool man's dream. If you love tools and you love woodworking, then that was the preeminent shop for you. They make millions per year off of these programs on PBS. And yet PBS comes with its handout every other week asking you and the government for money. If you like seeing these wonderful programs, then please dig into your pockets even deeper than we asked you to do last month. If you gave us $100 last month, reach in and give us another $150, please. Or else we're not going to be on the air next month. That's what they keep telling you. So maybe this is what CNN is going through. Maybe CNN gets money from the government this way. Otherwise, I can't. Or maybe they do an invisible monthly telethon. They go, hey, network sponsors of CNN, we're just going to ask you to dig into your. Yeah, you gave us $100,000 last month for running all your ads. How about digging into your pockets and upping the ante and giving us $150,000, or else we won't be on the air next month. And you wouldn't want that, now would you? I'm sure that's how it works. Anyway, I honestly don't let's put this in perspective. There are single TV show programs that get more viewers than the entire 24-hour broadcast day of CNN. Is headline news still on the air? That's what. Who watches headline news? That's part of CNN headline news. Does anybody still watch that? I don't even know if I get it on my cable. To tell you the truth, I remember when I used to watch it a long time ago. Headline, you want to know what's going on? Watch headline news. The same stories every half hour. Hey, if you missed the 4:00 edition, don't worry, just catch it at 4:30. Can't get to 4:30, wait till you get home and catch it at 5:30. Then that's fine. You get the exact same thing. It had to be Can you imagine being on the air for every 2 hours or so, and every 30 minutes you're redoing the same stories over and over? Well, that's how they do. The James or David Muir thing. Network news. You catch the newscast, the national newscast at 6:30, 6:37. Do you realize that they do that every day because it's a live feed? So they do that, 3 times a day. Well, because they do it for the East Eastern time zone and Central time zone. Then you got to do it for the Mountain and Pacific time zone. And then you got to do it for the Alaskan Hawaiian time zones. I mean, so yeah, David Muir is not on TV for just he's on TV live for like an hour and a half or 2 hours every day. Can you imagine how boring it would be just to keep doing the same stories over and over again? 3-4 times a day. Well, that's how I feel sometimes. I'm telling you the same damn story, but I have to because it's just they keep doing this kind of crap. They keep coming. Well, tomorrow's going to be a different bombshell story, and then a few days after that, we're going to find out, well, it's not exactly the way they said. That's the way it is now with CNN. Hey, bombshell story. Well, we'll wait a few days to see if it's still a bombshell. I mean, that's just is that what we're supposed to get from our news? We have to, I thought the news was supposed to verify before they broadcast something. Now the American people have to verify everything that they hear from those who are supposed to verify.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Last night they had, I don't even know what network it was on. I caught a portion of the wonderful classic movie, The Goonies. Everybody loves The Goonies. And I was looking at the number of, these were all kids, the number of future stars, big and small stars, that were in this movie. as well as as other, big name stars like Robert Davey and Joe Pantoliano. He was in Matrix, by the way. Ann Ramsey, throw Mama from the train. Oh, I didn't have any friends. But it had all of these other these kids in it that's later on, many of them went on to big fame, like Sean Astin and Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman and Martha Plimpton. But they all went on to have successful, varying levels of successful careers. Even Cary Green, who played Andy, the rest of the 80s, had a very successful child star career, and then she went away. Is she still doing stuff? I don't know. I was just, you look back on this stuff. This movie was actually done. And you want to feel old? This movie was released in 1985. 85, folks. Yeah, so now you can officially feel old. And there was another movie that came out right after this one, and it had the likes of, what was it called? Three friends. They went up in this, and they found some, foreign or outer space stuff. And it had River Phoenix was in it, as well as who are the other two? Well, now I can't remember. But in any case, yeah. So you had Sean Astin and Josh Brolin grew up to be James Brolin's son. And he's in something on TV now, right? Josh Brolin. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't watch a lot of TV, and when I do, it's usually movies. Usually catch it. No, I usually don't watch networks. I usually, Hulu or Netflix or something. But yeah, last night on network TV had, and of course the night before there was Christmas with the Cranks, a very funny movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen. She would probably be a hoot to hang out with. Jamie Lee Curtis. She just seems like a genuinely nice, and I hear that she is. She's a genuinely nice person. Genuinely, what you see in many of her movies when she plays her, these funny characters like that's really her. She's really that lighthearted and smiling all the time. And she's definitely not a diva. Anybody who comes in contact or worked with her says, no, she's not a diva. So she'd be a hoot to hang out with. Plus, I'd go have a beer with Tim Allen, too. Yeah, well, he is a funny guy, but I love watching Last Man Standing still, simply for all the jokes and pokes that he takes at Obama. It's great. It's great stuff. It's hilarious. Still to this day, it's hilarious. And now I don't know. I guess there's rumor out there that Last Man Standing may come back. I don't know where. Hey, was it the Mindy Project? That went on Hulu for a couple of seasons, right? Well, maybe Tim Allen. He's probably he wouldn't make as much off of Hulu as he did off a network, I'm sure. But as far as salary and everything, but hey, if you want to keep it going, it might be the way to go. So I don't know if the rumor is going to come, if it's just a rumor or if they're actually working on it. But maybe we haven't seen the last of Last Man Standing. Now I just hope that he's able to reassemble the entire the entire cast of the last season. If this rumor is true, if it is, I hope it is. I think the show was very funny. So it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, I Christmas with the Cranks. There's a lot of holiday movies on. Although I have yet to see A Christmas Story. I shot my eye out. I did. I shot my eye. I haven't seen that yet this year. It's a Wonderful Life has been all over the place already. But yeah, I've seen I don't watch really It's a Wonderful Life anymore. I'm still waiting. It's not really I haven't seen a Scrooge version yet. It's not really a Christmas season officially, unless I see some Scrooge. And I'm not talking about CNN or Democrats either.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's going to explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in.
If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Number 3 on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours on internet talk radio is right here. Glad that you are here, all of you wonderful liberty lovers and ecclesiastites, and to all of you new listeners as well. Welcome aboard this talk train. Yes, get aboard the party. This is like a party train, having a lot of fun this morning here on this Tuesday, December number 12 in the year of our Lord 2017, which means you have approximately 13. There's that number, 13. Yeah, if you have triskaidekaphobia, then you probably don't like that number. But 13 shopping days left until Christmas, or so. I guess 12 shopping days, but 13 days until Christmas. And you better get a move on. By the way, it is the traditional thing is, I guess, to have 10 days if you're going to order online. But, you know, you got Amazon and things that next day, second day, 2 day, 3 day, 5 day. You can still order on a lot of websites. And, hey, you can even order, you know, if they have a brick and mortar store near you, you can order online and pick it up at the store with many of these places, which is not a bad idea. And, hey, you know what you want, so you just say, hey, have it ready for me when I get there. It's the instant gratification type of thing. Because, you know, you got to wait a day or two at least in order to get it from Amazon. I mean, you can get stuff a day later, but you still got to wait. You don't have it in your hands right then and there. See, if you order it online, then go pick it up, it's like going to the store and shopping for it, but now you don't have to run around the store. You just go to one location, pick it up, and pay for it, and then you're off. And it's like fast food. It's like the drive-through. The only way they can make it even better is if they had I'm surprised Walmart hasn't come up with this. Well, the reason why, I know why they haven't. Walmart tried, I think they tested out curbside pickup with stuff too. But people abused it, and they used, so I think they dropped it. And that's how a drive-through would work. Because it would say, only small stuff, and people would try to order an 80-inch screen TV, and they'd expect them to pass it through the window or something, or put it in there. Yeah, I can see how that wouldn't work. But because people are just, they take advantage, instead of utilizing a service the way it's supposed to be utilized, they try to take advantage of it. Well, I'm just trying to get my money's worth. That's not the way to do it, though. Not the way to do it. In any case, so you could do that, but order online and pick it up. So if they have it in stock, today we have a snowstorm. It's cold out there. It's not even 30 degrees. We got a snowstorm blowing. We got a wind chill that's below 20 degrees out there today here in northern New England. Schools were closed all over the place. I don't know how much snow they didn't mention it. I was looking. They really didn't push the amount of snowfall that could happen. It's significant. This is a significant snowfall event, by the way. They closed schools around here. So I guess the whole global, again, every year we get reminded that there is no such thing as global warming. At least up here. In the northern half of the country, we're reminded every year, global warming? Yeah, right. The earth is warming? Yeah, right. How come if the earth is, this is, what was the, there was a disaster movie about this a few years ago with Ben Affleck. And it was very convoluted. In global warming, it was about global warming. And what happened is that the Earth's temperatures had risen so much that it melted the polar ice caps. Now, cities and places weren't, seacoasts weren't flooded, but the ice, there was so much ice that melted that it turned the water too cold, and it stopped the, what do they call it, the water jet stream, the current. It stopped. And that led to basically led to a new ice age. That's the way. Yeah, if it's too hot, it's going to get cold. So I guess in retrospect, if it's too cold, it's going to get hot. Is that how? I don't. Well, don't doubt me on this. This is what they might come up with. We could go back to the 60s and 70s where it was global cooling was going to be the whole thing. And now this is how this scenario would work, folks. Global cooling could come back in favor with the climate change people. How? Well, global cooling would actually cause the planet to heat up. Now in this Ben Affleck movie, global warming caused the ice age. Now stay with me. So if you take that in reverse, and if you have it getting too cold and more ice forms, which takes water away from the oceans, which means there's less evaporative effect going on around the planet, which means there's less water in the atmosphere, which means less rain, so there's more drought, which means fewer clouds, which means more sunlight, which heats up the planet even more because the sun is actually... So can you see how global cooling could lead to destruction by fire? Just like in the movie, global warming led to destruction by ice. Look, they're going to bring this up. And when they do, you can say, well, geez, Rod said that. He said that. And you might think, well, that's, or some people are out there thinking, well, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. You're talking crazy talk now, Rod. Really? Well, here's a story from Bloomberg. Taxes on meat could join carbon and sugar to help limit emissions. I am not kidding you. Look. Move over taxes on carbon and move over taxes on sugar. Now, I didn't know sugar taxes, for sugary soft drinks and sugary snacks had anything to do with global warming. But evidently, you got to grow sugar cane, I guess. But the next taxing levy may be on meat. Now, some investors are betting governments around the world will find a way to start taxing meat production as they aim to improve public health and hit emissions targets set in the Paris Climate Agreement. See, this Paris Climate Agreement, this is why Trump took us out of it. Look, we've got scientists and biologists still working in Australia trying to bioengineer a cow that farts less. A fartless cow. That's right, a cow that does not belch. That's what we're looking for. Because all that methane gas that a cow farts is contributing to global warming. So how do we get fewer animals on the animals obviously are natural creatures helping to cause global warming. So how do we get rid of all these animals? Well, people eat less meat. So that means we're going to have more people starving. But in any case, and this is for health reasons, because meat's bad for your health. Really? Socially focused investors are starting to push companies to diversify into plant protein, or even suggest livestock producers use a shadow price of meat similar to an internal carbon price to estimate future cost. Meat could encounter the same fate as tobacco, carbon, and sugar, which are currently taxed in 180, 60, and 25 jurisdictions. I don't understand how that's written. They're currently taxed in jurisdictions around the world, respectively, according to a report Monday from investor group FAIRR, FAIRR, the Farm Animal Investment Risk and Return Initiative. Lawmakers in Denmark, Germany, China, and Sweden have discussed creating livestock-related taxes in the past 2 years, though the idea has encountered strong resistance. Well, tax food. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. Tax food. Okay, you want to tax sugar? Got it. It doesn't have to be in stuff, but sugar is in a lot of stuff, by the way. It's even in many of your pasta sauces. Look at the ingredient list. You'll find sugar. So sugar is in a lot of stuff. But okay, we don't need sugar. We really don't. I mean, there's no necessary nutritional value behind sugar. It just makes things taste better. That's all. Now it's the same with salt. No. There's actually, real physical need for salt in our diet. Now, obviously not that you can have too much of a good thing. Yes, but there is a genuine need for it. But look, we've got studies that show vegetarians are not healthier than meat eaters. As a matter of fact, the longevity scale, there was a story, back in the summer we did a story on here about the longevity of vegetarians versus people who eat meat. Vegetarians don't live as long, generally speaking. Well, that's I know it was a shocker. But yeah. So now they want to, in order to cut greenhouse gas emissions from livestock, they're saying that livestock contributes about 14 to 15% of the world's total greenhouse gas emissions, which projects global meat consumption to increase 73% by mid-century amid growing demand for economies like India and China. India is a vegetarian nation, basically. Maybe they don't. Maybe they can't grow enough vegetables, or maybe they'll just turn on the cows that they think are their ancestors. That could result in, if they turn to meat, that could result in as much as $1.6 trillion in health and environment costs to the global economy by 2050. A global economy to 1.6 trillion? Hell, we've got a $4 trillion budget with $20 trillion in debt. $1.6 trillion for the entire globe is nothing. They want to cut they want to cut meat production and tax everybody to death because it could cost the globe $1.6 trillion in environmental and health increased cost by 2050. That's a drop in the bucket. Hey, you know what? The United States, we could probably just, have a quick, we can raise cash on one of those, raising cash type of sites. Hey, help pay the U.S.'s portion. It's 1.6 trillion, but 100 grand. That's our cost. Oh, they'll probably try to make us, pay for most of it, but the world, because we eat a lot of meat, don't we? What are they going to charge the Japanese for Kobe beef? By the way, just asking. Think about that for a second.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
And welcome back. Now it is time for the Christmas song, the final Christmas song of today. And it is a good old-fashioned one. It came upon the midnight clear. William Billy Van Horn, It Came Upon the Midnight Clear. That's his version of it. Beautiful stuff right there. Now it is time for the holidays for December 12. Today is National Ambrosia Day. Ambrosia is a name for the food or drink of the gods in Greek mythology. And it was said to bring those humans who consumed it immortality. Although ambrosia salad probably won't bring immortality like the mythological ambrosia, it's what's celebrated today. Ambrosia is a fruit salad usually made up of pineapple, oranges, miniature marshmallows, and coconut. And various other fruits can also be used to make it, as well as crushed pecans and creams such as whipped cream, sour cream, or yogurt. So ambrosia salad is what that's all about. So it's celebrate Ambrosia Day. It's also Festival of Unmentionable Thoughts. A lot of people have that. That's why we're in the middle of all this sexual harassment allegation stuff going on. It's also Gingerbread House Day. So how do you celebrate? Well, of course, make a gingerbread house today. It's National 12-Hour Fresh Breath Day. Only a dentist could come up with that one. It's about the importance of noticing the importance of oral hygiene and helping keeping your mouth and the air around other people clean and non-smelly. It's also National Ding-a-ling Day. That goes along with National 12-Hour Fresh Breath Day. Yeah, it's for, I guess, Ding-a-ling Day is for kids. Well, it could be for Don Lemon, too. It is also, finally, it is National Poinsettia Day. Not poinsettia, but poinsettia. Poinsettia is the dog. Poinsettia is the flower. It represents the beautiful red flowering plant that has come to be associated with Christmas and holiday cheer. By the way, the leaves, that is the flower of the plant. People always say, well, what's the flower? The leaves, the red leaves are the flower of the plant. And you know that you could actually regrow your own poinsettias too. You can keep them all year round. It's not easy though. But those are your holidays for today, December 12th. Enjoy responsibly.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to? Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden? What?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Welcome back. So the Georgia, or excuse me, the Alabama election, special election is today. If you are down there, if you're an Alabamian, is that what you call yourselves, Alabamian? Alabamaites? If you're an Alabamian, then you need to get to the polls today, because the left is out there trying to cheat you of your vote. By the way, they are. They're trying to steal it from you down there in Alabama. Don't doubt me on this one. Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, was down there adding his voice to the Alabama Senate race, imploring voters to go to the polls today to reject the candidacy of Roy Moore. This was part of an aggressive effort by Democrats to try and counter President Trump's full-throated endorsement of the controversial Republican candidate. This one's serious, Obama says in the robocall. You can't sit it out. Get out there and vote. Get out there, vote for my guy. My guy is. See, if Trump run against me, I'd win because I beat everybody. I even beat Hillary, so I'd beat Donald. So go out there and show that I can beat Donald, even though I'm not on a ticket. But I'm telling you who to vote for. So you can't vote for that other guy. Not that Donald Trump guy. No, vote for my guy. And the reason is because they're trying to steal the election from you. I can't believe it. What is it? You had all of these polls yesterday. What, Fox said that Jones was up by 10 points, and politic whatever had Jones up by 9. How do you have a 19-point swing that way? I don't get it. It's because there are other things out there. Reject all this BS, people in Alabama. Go out there and vote. And this, by the way, this is a CNN story. I love this. CNN first. First on CNN. Obama hold on, let me get this correct. First on CNN, Obama tells Alabama voters to reject Roy Moore because this is CNN. Two Democratic officials familiar with the Alabama race tell CNN that Obama recorded the phone message in recent days at the very time Trump stepped up his own involvement in the campaign with a recorded message. So now they're going to make this sound, it's former President Obama versus Donald Trump, current President Donald Trump. That's what it's all about. That's what's happening in Alabama right now. That's what's happening in Alabama right now. You got two presidents going at it, and it's going to depend on which one of these peoples wins the race, is going to mean which president wins. And, of course, people of Alabama, we don't want to be seen as racist, so we probably going to vote for that Jones feller, because he's the guy that the black President Obama wants to have in office. We can't go for that white judge feller, because he's white. And so is Trump. So don't buy into all this notion, folks. You're being manipulated. Don't allow them to manipulate you. If you're down there in Alabama, don't allow them to do it. Don't reject this manipulative type of stuff. Well, what about all the allegations? Do you realize that they went down there to talk about this, and they asked some Alabamians about all these allegations. And the media was flabbergasted. They were floored. They were angry even that Alabamians would say it doesn't mean anything because they believe all 9. Last count I heard was 7, but the press is saying 9. They believe all 9 women are lying. And they believe that all of them have been paid to come forward to say this stuff. Hey, this is what happens when you have one of the accusers admit that she forged part of the document that's in her yearbook. She forged it, faked it, lied about it. Gloria Allred knew about it. And this is why Alabamians are not buying all these other people. They waited. You even got some women who were talking about, I mean, they even called Rush. Yeah, Rush, this is dumb. Why are they waiting so long? Yeah, I mean, 30 years ago, somebody did this to me, and I didn't even think anything of it back then, but now I might think of something. But you know what? It was 30 years ago. I'm not going to bring it up now. That's what she said. So why'd they wait 40 years? 35 to 40 years for all these accusations. And not a single person has come forward that's newer than 35 years, as far as I know. Not a credible person. So he did, and I know there are some Alabamians who are making excuses for it. Well, down here in Alabama, we do things different. Back then when all this took place, it was okay for a grown man to be dating a girl. I mean, there was a woman that said, yeah, when I was 16 years old, I dated a man who was 32. And it was considered okay. Now, look, I'm not calling Alabamans a bunch of hayseed hicks, but evidently that was the norm. Now, whether or not you think it's right, it's what was the norm. But Moore denies all this, and none of them seem to be credible enough anyway to make you believe anyway, because a lot of people in Alabama think all these women, all of them, are lying. And I got to tell you, from what I've read and heard and gotten some of the evidence, so yeah, behind the mall wasn't even built then. Didn't exist. Oh, down that street didn't come around until the 1990s. Yeah, I mean, this is what I've been hearing. So I'm thinking, do Alabamians have it? Well, they know better than we do what was going on down there. Do they have it right that all these women were lying? If they're admitting to forging documents, if they're giving evidence by stating that Moore took them to places that could not exist back then you got to ask yourself, who the hell is telling the truth? Possibly none of them? I can see how Alabamians would think so. See, we on the national stage, we don't fully understand the local aspects of this case. We don't know if a mall was built back in 1977 or not. We don't know if a particular street or parking lot was built back in 1977 or 70 or 80 or not. We don't know because we're not there. We didn't grow up in that. But Alabamians did. They know. They know that the mall wasn't there that this woman was talking about. They know that these particular streets or parking lots weren't built until the 90s or later that they're talking about that he took them to in the 70s and 80s. They know all this stuff. So they're the ones that are saying, we think that they're all lying. Could be. Roy Moore actually sits down for an interview with a 12-year-old girl over the weekend. He recently sat down for an interview with Millie, a 12-year-old Virginia girl who gained fame for her support of President Donald Trump back in 2016. He sat down with her and interviewed by her, a meeting arranged by a pro-Trump political action committee. A video of the interview was posted by America First Project on Sunday. It includes Millie March, a Northern Virginia girl who gained fame for her support of President Trump during his 2016 campaign, questioning Moore just days ahead of today's election. Moore's Alabama former Chief Justice has been accused of having improper sexual contact with teenage girls, including one as young as 14 in the 70s. Of course, he denies it. And he explained a little bit of that stuff to this 12-year-old girl in this interview. And no, he did. Look, I saw a little bit of the interview. He didn't have longing eyes for. Again, this is something that he did. According to these people, he would have been in his late 20s, early 30s when he did this, if he did it. But there are many Alabamians who are calling out the testimony of these women, saying that they're like, oh, 9 of, and the media, the mainstream media, MSNBC and CNN, they're getting mad that people aren't believing them. You think all these women? Yes, we think they're all. Now you don't say that to all those CNN reporters and all those MSNBC reporters. You don't say that to journalists. What they tell you, you're supposed to believe. And you say, no, we don't believe you. We think they're lying. That gets their goat, man. When you tell a reporter that they think that you think that they're biased and they're lying, that gets their goat. That's Mr. President-elect. That's not appropriate. That's not appropriate, Mr. President. Yeah, it is. You're fake news. It's not appropriate. Well, you're being called out for it. Yeah, I'm not finished. I'm not taking any more questions from you today. Because you get things wrong. And sure, you don't even own up to it. If you make a mistake, but this seems, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she took him to task. You seem to make this mistake on a weekly basis. This is supposed to be rare stuff. Not something you do every freaking day. But they do. By the way, the family of the Port Authority bombing suspect, and yes, there is a photo of him not hunched over crying over blowing off his, I don't know if he blew off. It's not a very powerful bomb if it didn't kill him, for one. But there are some women out there thinking that he's cute. He's no Jeremy Meeks. Anybody remember the gorgeous felon? Yeah, the felon picture of Jeremy. He actually got a real modeling he's a male model now. But in any case, so they can't believe that this guy would do so, because he looks so innocent, he looks cute and all whatever. It's amazing what people will try to do to try to downplay what this guy tried to do and actually did. Including this story from the New York Post. The family of the bombing suspect is outraged at investigators' tactics. Yeah, the family is outraged. Yes, the family of the alleged ISIS-inspired Port Authority bomber said that they were heartbroken by the attack on Monday and blasted law enforcement agencies for what they claimed were heavy-handed tactics by investigators. Yes, they say we are heartbroken by the violence that was targeted at our city today, and by the allegations made against a member of our family, said a statement read by Albert Fox Khan, legal director for the New York Chapter Council for Islamic Relations, Khan, C-A-H-N. But, he said, we're also outraged by the behavior of the law enforcement officials who held children as small as 4 years old out in the cold and who pulled a teenager out of high school classes to interrogate him without lawyer, without his parents. They do that, well, I don't know about a 4-year-old, but teens, they question all the time without their parents. You know, they can do that, by the way. When there's an active investigation, crime investigation, anybody can be questioned. Now, what were the questions? They're probably trying to get some information about. Did you know that he was doing this? If they're trying to accuse these people, a 4-year-old or a teenager of the crime of being a part of it, then they're supposed to have a guardian and or an attorney present. But just to get information, hey, did you know? We heard that you knew this guy. This bomber, did you know him? Yeah. Did he ever seem like he was going to do that? No. Did he ever say anything? No. See, they're probably getting all this information off of social media sites. And they're questioning people about the social media. Did you know about this? No. Didn't know anything about it. They can do that. But I guess the New York Chapter Council for Islamic Relations is upset that they would even question anybody other than the bomber. Sounds pretty typical, yes?
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Well, ain't this a pip? Yeah, we're almost out of time for today, and I didn't even get to half the paper pile and some stuff about more sexual allegations. We'll have to get to some of that stuff tomorrow, get into depth of it tomorrow. But here's a story here. If I can get it to actually do what it's supposed to do here. Sometimes a computer just does not respond. And it has everything to do with the sites that I go to sometimes. But anyway, banks and companies turn against coal as European leaders seek cash for climate. And that's the way it is. Where is that sound coming from now? Wow, folks, this is no response at all. Banks and companies are they're turning against coal because in Paris, this is Dateline Paris, major banks and companies vowed Tuesday to accelerate the move away from earth-warming fossil fuels as world leaders met in Paris, seeking to unlock new cash for global economy's shift to greener energy. Now, this is what Spain did and almost went bankrupt, by the way. 2 years to the day since the 195 nations sealed the Paris Agreement to avert worst-case scenario climate change, which they're not doing, by the way. The World Bank said it would stop financing oil and gas exploration and extraction. About 2% of its portfolio now from 2019 onward. So they're not going to do it immediately. They're going to wait till not literally, well, literally next year, not technically because we're still in 2017, but basically 2017 is just about over. So they're going to wait a year. Now, on the sidelines of a summit of some 60 leaders called by French President Emmanuel Macron, French insurer AXA said it would speed up its carbon sector divestment, pulling 2.5 billion euros, nearly $3 billion US dollars, from companies which derive more than 30% of their revenues from coal. Dutch bank ING said it would have close to zero exposure to coal. So you know what that means? That means all these companies are going to be coming to what? U.S. banks. U.S. banks will still loan out the money for that kind of stuff because there's money to be made on it. Look, if all these other countries want to go dark and have rolling brownouts and all that kind of stuff, let them go ahead and do it. If they want to go broke and trying to build out a whole infrastructure of not practical green energy like Spain, let them do it. You know, we'll be the kings of the world. Well, we already are, kind of, but the left doesn't like to say that. But yeah. Well, these people are just, they're idiotic. Well, hey, if we decide that we're going to get rid of gas and oil and coal by 2025 or 2030, then we're going to be forced to find an alternative. That's not actually going to work. It hasn't worked. You know, they've already done this kind of stuff before, and it hasn't worked. Finally today, at a time when participation in traditional religion is declining, according to New York CBS Local, Americans are finding the practice of Wiccan or witchcraft to be on the rise. So yeah, if I probably shouldn't laugh at witches, because they can cast a spell on you, but yeah, not Druidic or nature religions, Wiccan. And maybe it has to do with all the witch movies of late. I don't know. Does anybody want to be a vampire or a werewolf? We've had a lot of those stories too. But they've made witches, the witches of Eastwick and that kind of stuff. They made witchcraft seem like it was cool. That stuff is not cool. That stuff, if done properly, is evil, it's wicked, and can be extremely dangerous. God warned us about witchcraft. So it's obviously real if God warned you about it. But in any case, so that's it for today. We'll get into more of this paper pile stuff, some of the accusations of sexual harassment. New people are being named daily, so we'll get to that as well. Check out rodeccles.net later on today. Got some new stuff going up there. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I will see you back here in about 21 hours. Thanks for tuning in. I am Rod Eccles. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Left dogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.